Hi, this is Nikki, and so back to the second part of the reading. And so on their side, the big thing about them was to say it's okay for you to wish upon a star, right? They're wanting to change things because because they're thinking about you. And it's about knowing that you have to dream big and to wish upon those stars. And then let the universe help them, right? It's about being open to receive because their heart is with you. And then what's in our minds is this: we're journeying back to our soul, right? And we're journeying back to the light, and we're journeying back to union, and we're holding the light of love for them. And we are on our own drawbridge, right? Going back home, going back to our own light. Now, if you look at the drawbridge, then always those sort of bridges always make me think that it's a bit treacherous and a bit scary at times. And so that's what is happening, because it is a bit scary at times, because you're putting your faith and your hope and your dreams into something that isn't perhaps tangible at the moment, right? And so that is a little precarious. And so that's why we can see this sense of storminess at the top part of the reading, which is the crowning energy, which is totally what I'm feeling at the moment and what I've witnessed through all of the different healings and people coming to me. So I know that we're sharing this on the journey, because there is this sense of when you're going towards the union and when you're going towards the light, you are absolutely putting your faith and hope and trust in something that you can't see at the moment, right? And so along that path, this bridge might wobble sometimes, right? That's the thing about these drawbridges. They sort of go like this, and sometimes you might think, oh, I'm going to fall off. Which is why this is good. This is really good, a warning sign to say that if you're feeling this sense of storminess at the moment, it is because, right, you are feeling them in the heart, right? Because they're feeling uneasy with their lives and feeling that they're deceiving themselves, because you are journeying. Remember, you're on an energetic journey doing this together. So because you are moving more towards the light and more towards your own soul path. It's creating the storminess because you're pulling each other out of these lives into your future, right? And so just like you've experienced storminess and having to change your life and, all of those things that happen on your awakening path when you go toward your own light, it's never an easy. I've never known I can only speak from my own experience, right? And it was not easy, and still isn't easy. And it's always a journey of trust and deep faith, and going within and really following your own light first and primarily, and trusting that. And along the way, of course, that brings you. The only way really that you develop and you grow is when you go through hard times and you come out the other side and you realise, oh, okay, well, I can see now why that had to happen, right? Which is what they're going through, which is why there is this warning sign here. Because what is at the heart of us, though, is this sense of abundance in everything, right? Which is why that was also really lovely, because the guidance on their side was about being open to receive. And one of the blocks was around this sense of financial and practical matters, which is why, again, if you at the heart of you absolutely stand in your own power of creating the life of your dreams, right? And then this energy then mirrors back to them, right? So it's about standing at the heart of you, knowing that you have this sense of abundance in all areas of your life, because you're wanting the energy that you're then sending into the union is the Archangel Ariel, right? And it's the second chakra, which is all about the sacral chakra, about intimacy, romance. Interestingly, at the bottom of the deck, sorry, not at the bottom of the deck, but the grounding energy is the doorway to romance, right? Which is opening the heart to more and more love. The sacred keys for each other. You have basically, you've ignited that, you've opened the door, right? The key has been turned, right? The lock has been opened, and so the doorway is open. And so the love is flowing into their heart, which is why if you look here, This is the grounding energy. Now, if you look at the style of the card, it's with the red curtains, which is exactly the same as this, right? Which is why, because the doorway is opened to love, to romance, right? To wanting to bring in these love-based connections, that's why the soul is being deceived, right? And you can't do that anymore. Because at the heart of you is this sense of abundance, but also it is, the key thing to know is you are on a journey to your own rainbow. It's your soul path, right? It's your soul path to your own happiness and healing, right? And so that's why this is, again, so lovely, because in this reading we have the double rainbow. Not only do we have the double rainbow, but we also have, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 angelic cards here, right? Which just shows how much the angelic realm is supporting us. And funnily enough, yesterday I bought a crystal, angel aura, the angel aura crystal, which came into, like, the crystal that I was drawn to was like 2 twin pillars. And it was just a beautiful crystal. So I was like, oh, I'm very much drawn to that. So I love to see now that all of this angel, you know, basically the angels are all around him, because he's feeling, you know, he's feeling like he can't do this anymore because his soul is crying out for something more. And so what you're wanting, which is, again, this is so lovely, the mirroring here, is you're wanting to have new beginnings, regeneration, because the doorway to spirit is opened, right? It's already open for you. You're already tapped into your divine source. You already know you're on this pathway, and what you're wanting to see is you're wanting to see the change, right? You're wanting your freedom, like literally to have the wings of freedom, on the wings of love, right? You're wanting for that to happen, and for letting your spirit really control your life, right? And so all of that is part of, you know, really stepping aside from your mind, stepping into your soul self and saying, okay, I let spirit and my higher self and the universe guide me, right? Because the guidance here is the spirit of place, which is this. I will read it, and it is quite uncannily. It is the fact that they say your soul, authenticity is the essence of power. Our ancient ancestors believed that every place has a spirit looking after it or embodying it, just as we have a soul. The plants, trees, birds, mountains and rivers have their own essences. When the spirit of place arrives in your reading, it says that the answer to your query is in the overarching theme of your circumstances. Is your question about a struggle? The answer is to relax and let go of your need to control the situation. If your inquiry relates to finding love, then embody love rather than long for it. Once you find the essential truth that underlies your question and then name it, you'll discover the answer you've been seeking, because your greatest power is your authenticity. Oh, so the ways that you get to your regeneration and your power is to step aside, basically, and let your spirit guide you, which is, you know, which is one of the big things. I mean, that's the hardest thing, right? Because we are so mindful, but it's about really being mindful to let your higher self drive the car. So the other guidance is you're on a stage of regeneration, right? The world is based on connections and relationships. No matter what loss has occurred in the past or even now, death and endings are only illusions. There is life after death, love after loss, and in this moment you are radiating the regenerative life force energy that makes you irresistible to love in all its forms. Now is a time when you will see evidence of this new emergence. Can you feel it? Because love is rising up to greet you, which is lovely, because the Nature's Oracle guidance is a big transition is taking place in your life. It will happen gradually, almost imperceptibly, over the next 5 years. Learn to be gentle and kind to yourself during this process. So we are on a journey of renewal. And so the union guidance was, this relationship is here to go the distance. It is also the wizard of awareness. But also what is so great is the union guidance from nature is, and it couldn't be more perfect, because we had, you know, the crowning energy is this sense of storminess, because we've opened up the grounding energy, as we've opened up our hearts. And because of that, we can't to see, you know, this sense of, you know, feeling uncomfy is because we know we've got to do things to change, right? So it says, sometimes the future eludes us and the road ahead seems blocked. Now is one of those times. Instead of pushing through the fog, pause, meditate, and wait for the mist to clear. So, just like, you know, the guidance saying, it's all about going within, right? I know that this is, you know, that's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing on this journey, to never panic. It's to go within before acting. So you are either calling in a harmonious relationship that can stand the test of time. For better or worse, as you ride the ups and downs and even strain, break yourself and are remade in new growth. You are being redeemed by the power of regeneration. Just as that, it was 11:11 on the timer. Harmony does not mean there will never be a wrong note played, but that the relationship is marked by endurance and dedication to overall unity. A new song can be written, an instrument can be tuned, and the symphony of love